Hi everyone, welcome back to Festive Friday. So today's going to be my last video in my office before we have our family Christmas. Next week's Festive Fridays is going to be all about how I set up the table, and will actually be filmed from my grandma's house where we're having Christmas, because I'm going to set everything up and I'm going to film it along the way. So for my last one here in the office, I'm going to go through the Paper Lovers book and basically pull out some of these gift bags, some of the bonbons, basically, and the gift boxes. And I'm sort of going to make everything that I haven't already made, and everything that I have made, like all these things, I'm going to make little mini gifts for the kids. So it'll be like with some lollies or stuff like that to just sort of hide in the tree, just something extra for the kids to undo. Just for something different, like for something extra. I always like to buy presents for everybody, but then I like to kind of add a little thing. I love how this book is so empty now, it's basically falling apart. I love it. So some of these you guys would have seen me do before, but that's okay. So sort of going to start with this one, which is the bonbon. So I did this one in my wrapping video last week. But it's really, really simple. So you just punch the shape out, and then you punch out these bits in the middle. And you can obviously use either side, so you can use the gold side or the tree side. So punch out all those middle bits. These are great for putting lollies in. They're great for putting small things in. You would have seen in my wrapping video that I put in a little tester of some, well, not tester, a little sample size of some makeup for me. So there are lots of different things you can use this for. So then you just fold along all the score lines, and then you grab some glue tape or double-sided tape or whatever you want to use, and then you go to town on this little tab. Put as much glue there as you are humanly able to do, because the stronger that is, the more you can stuff in there. So what I like to do is put it down flat and then actually push these down as hard as I possibly can. And then I like to go back in and rub out any dots that don't need to be used. And so then what you do is you push these in to the center. Do that on both sides, and then you just tie it off with some ribbon. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of twine. I just think this twine looks really cool with this. Oh, I need to clean my scissors. This twine's just from the Reject Shop, I think. So you just put it in like that, and then you can just tie this off very, very simply. You can put double knot in it if you like, or you can just do a bow like I'm going to do. Obviously the tighter it is, the less likely it is that something's going to fall out at the end. I'm not doing this particularly tight because I still need to fill it up. Wasn't organised enough to remember to bring the lollies. One suggestion though, if you are going to put lollies in here, don't make them chocolates, because they tend to melt, especially if you live in Queensland like I do. Or don't make them too small, because they're going to come flying out the end. So what I like to do is get generally some kind of fruit lolly, some like Allen's jellies or something like that, and actually put them in a little plastic bag and then put them in here. So that's what I like to do with those. It does have a tendency to sometimes fall in, so you just tighten that up. And then that looks really cool with just like a sticker on the front, or a tag with their name on it. So the next one that we're going to do is we're going to do one of these gift bags. Again, you've seen me made this before, but they're just so simple and they're just so effective for little things like this. And then you've got these little holes which you've got to remember to punch out, which I always seem to forget to. Go, and then you just fold along all the edges. It's all scored for you, so you don't really even have to think. And then what I've discovered is it's much easier to do the string before you glue it. So I'm just going to grab some string. So I'm just grabbing this string. This is also from the Reject Shop. I would suggest doing a double knot just because that hole isn't as small as you like to think it is. Isn't as, hold on, let me rephrase that. It's a bit bigger than you think. You look at it and you think one knot's enough, but it's definitely not. So I'm actually doing 3 knots there just to make sure. There's one. Ryan's just brought up a very good point. You can just tie the 2 ends together, but I think it looks cuter this way. I'm just cutting off the excess there. And then just doing the same thing on the other side. One's a little bit longer than the other, but that's okay. So then you do the same thing with this one. Just completely cover this tab with glue tape. And then you just sort of fold it all in. Oh yes, right, you gotta glue the bottom. I always forget about that. Okay, put this bit in first. Give that a good pinch. And then you cover the bottom with glue tape as well. And then I find the best way to do this is just grab your scissors and just push down that way. Or put heavy things in there for 24 hours just to make sure it's okay. Then you've got your little baggie. Then got the gift box, which is another gorgeous way to do this. So you just punch this out. So something I've noticed that's different from last year. Last year these were just paper as opposed to cardboard. So they are slightly better this year, which I'm really enjoying. Last year I made a bunch of these just using this as a template, and I wrapped a bunch of my eyeshadows in them that Ryan got me for Christmas. They just fit that eyeshadow size really, really nicely. Okay. So I've got to remember how to do this now. There is a way. That's right. I think. So these ones actually go that way. So you go in like that, and then you fold that over. You do the same thing on the other side. It's just stuck on something. And push that one down too. And then that one goes down like that. So you don't need any glue tape for this one whatsoever, which I love. So that's one side. We'll just go ahead and do the other one. Okay, so you do the same thing with this side as we just did with the other one. So put those into the middle. And so one of these is just slightly bigger than the other. Hopefully it's the red one. I'm really hoping. Unless I've done it wrong, which I can sometimes do. Last year they fit really nicely, and this year they don't seem to want to. I'm sure I picked the 2 up. Yeah, that's the box lid. Maybe I just did it wrong. You can squish them a little bit. There we go. It's a little squished, but you get the general gist. So that's the gift box. Another gift bag here, which I'm not going to make because you guys have seen it. And this last one here is something that they haven't had before. At least I don't think so. And these are mini diamond decorations. And I thought these would be cool. We've definitely done these kind of things before, the hanging gems or whatever they happen to be. But I thought this would be something cool. You could make these, fill them with lollies, and then stick them, like hang them on your tree and let the kids find them. I love doing fun things for the kids on Christmas. That's my favourite part. So you just fold all the edges. The other thing it says is prepare your hanging string. So measure 12 centimeters of string. And I'm going to measure it because they're never usually that specific. So if they want me to measure 12 centimeters, then I will do so. And tie the ends together to create a loop. So create one for each of your decorations. Gently punch out, fold along each of the scored line, add double-sided sticky tape to the tabs and slowly fold together and press to make a shape. So we get the tape on all the tabs, make a mess on your desk, and then gently fold together. 1, before closing the final tab, attach the hanging string by taping the knot inside the decoration, then press the final tab shut. Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit by not stickying it down because I reckon that knot's about enough to keep it there. So just push all that in. No, we have to tape it in. Just grabbing a little bit of tape. This is where these mini tapes come in really handy. Still don't think that's going to be any different, but I don't think you could put lollies in these. I think it's too small. There we go. So just squish it all in. Try not to squish too hard or you'll mess up that little shape. But there you go, that's what they look like. So I'm just going to make the other 2 really quickly and I'll be right back. That's the last of them. Just got to be a little bit careful with sticking them down because they don't tend to stick all that well. Something else that I was thinking when I was making these that you could use them for, if you're going to use, and you'll see when I do my table decoration next week, if you're going to use like a dome with some lights, these might look cool just on the bottom. I think they'd look cute stacked, like without the strings on them, just the actual shapes. They'd look really cool. I'll show you what I mean next week. I might use these just to show you. So there's 3 ways to present some of your presents and a little mini decoration. I love the Paper Lovers books for these reasons, that the little crafts that you can make out of these are sometimes the cutest things ever. So if you can take advantage of what's in the Paper Lovers book, I would strongly suggest you doing so. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Remember, next week is my, not big finale, but it's how I do my table decoration. For Christmas, it's going to be filmed on location, as I said, so it's going to be slightly different. And so probably involving a lot more stuff than just stuff from Kikki K. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, I would highly recommend you tuning in next Friday. If you do want to make sure you don't miss that video, I would suggest subscribing. Hit that big button down there, and that way you won't miss the video when it pops up next Friday sometime after lunch. If you do want to contact me, show me how you've used these, show me how you use anything from the Paper Lovers book. I'd love to see it. Tag me on Instagram. My Instagram, my Facebook, my Snapchat, and my email are all down below. You can contact me about anything you like. But I do love seeing how you guys have done bits and pieces that I've shared with you a couple weeks ago. Everyone showed me their wreaths, and I really enjoyed that. So thank you very much to everybody that showed me their wreaths. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. See you later. Bye.